Well, the results of the budget weren't as spooky as I thought they were going to be. I think they could have been a lot worse. So there we go. From a business point of view, I think that one of the big increases was the national wage increased by 6.7%, from £11.44 to £12.21 from April 25. So obviously good for employees. Employers not so good. No change to national insurance for employees, but employers' national insurance, that I think we expected that to be increased, but it's gone from 13.8% to 15%, rise of 1.2% from April 2025. But the biggie is what the threshold of what that is payable on, and that has gone from £9,100 to £5,000. So quite a biggie. The only negating factor for employers is the fact that the employment allowances increased from 5,000 to 10.5. So hopefully the smaller employers won't be affected as much by that. So if we can move on to the next slide. Thank you. So from an income tax point of view, no real changes. No changes until 28-29. Then the thresholds will be uprated in line with the inflation, preventing people from being dragged into high rate bands as their wages rise. Again, income tax, dividend tax is a form of income tax. No change there. No change whatsoever. So personal allowance will remain at 12,570 until 28-29. The dividend 0% allowance will be £500 from 24-25. Personal savings allowance £1,000 for basic rate taxpayers and £500 for high rate taxpayers. Additional rate taxpayers nil as previously. Capital gains tax, that's where we have the change, and unfortunately that is changed with immediate effect. So excuse me, previously the lower rate of CGT was 10%, higher rate 18%. That's now 20% and 24% from 30th of October. So I don't think it was unexpected, though. I think they were never going to touch dividend income. They were never going to touch, well, because it forms part of income tax. They were never going to touch that. So I think capital gains tax was the easy target. So that leads us on to, actually, so although the rates have changed with immediate effect, from 25-26, no, that's not the case, is it? Sorry. Yes, so they were from immediate effect, but business asset disposal relief currently 10% on assets up to £1 million Now that is increasing to 14% from April 2025. So that's not taken into effect immediately. That will be from April 2025 and increasing to 18% from April 2026. So in line with the basic, with the higher rate of, the basic rate of capital gains tax. So you can see that they're lining up all of these rates. Residential property, those rate bands have not changed at all. So they are currently at 18%, and for basic rate taxpayers and 24% for higher rate taxpayers. That won't change. As I said, they're lining the rates up with that. Corporation tax, no change whatsoever. Obviously, that's changed recently, or more recently. There will be no change to that until the next election. So, yeah, I think we've already touched upon ABR and BPR. Currently 100%, or not currently. That's another one that's taken immediate effect. So currently 100% BPR with no cap, but that will change from April 26. And they will be merged. So BPR, APR will be merged, and there will be a cap on that of £1 million, whereby anything above that, the effective rate will be 20%. For example, you have a lifetime gift of unquoted shares of £2 million, say, on or after 30th of October 24. Will be filled potential exempt transfer if the donor dies within 7 years. The 7-year rule hasn't changed. You would get 100% relief would apply to the first £1 million and 50% to the next £1 million under the new rules if the recipient owned the shares until the donor's death, and then the donor's death is on or after April 2026. There are some planning points to be considered around that. So there's something that can be done to mitigate that if we plan ahead, basically. Non-dom regime, that's to be abolished from April 2025. I'm not going to go into that in any detail. If there are any non-doms out there that need any advice, then feel free to give us a call. Stamp duty land tax, from April 2025, they've the 0% band has been slashed in half, basically. Not great news for additional property, people buying additional properties. First time buyers, their 0% band applies when they're purchasing a house for less than 300,000. They won't pay any stamp duty land tax on that. And as I said, for for additional property or purchases, it's not great news because the additional surcharge of 3% as of today. So taking that tax charge to 5%, which is not great news for buyers of second dwellings, unfortunately. And
Thanks, Rachel.
All right.
Thank you.